What do you do when family is so broken you don't think it'll ever be healed? Hey friends, it's Pastor Mike from Fellowship Church. Always enjoy connecting with you midweek, hoping you're enjoying this warm summer weather. That question for you again, what do you do when family relationships seem so broken you don't think they'll ever be healed? If you've been with us on Sunday mornings at Fellowship Church lately, you know that we've been talking about a man named Abraham. Abraham was kind of the father of the faith. Genesis 12, God speaks to Abraham and says, I want to call you to be kind of a key man as I develop out my spiritual family. I want you to go wherever I go and do whatever I tell you to do. Abraham follows him, not even knowing what's going on. Abraham has a wife named Sarah. Part of that early promise was God saying to Abraham, I'm going to give you a son. Now at that time, Abraham was already 75 years old. His wife Sarah is 65. God says, I am going to give you family. God didn't say when. That's a key part of the story. Abraham and Sarah probably assumed it was going to happen right away. It didn't happen right away. The years go by. The calendar pages keep getting turned. Every year they're thinking, this is our year. Never happens. So if you've been with us on Sunday mornings, you know that Abraham and Sarah come up with their own plan. We're going to help God with this, by golly. They take Sarah's maidservant, a woman named Hagar. Abraham is with her. She produces a child named Ishmael. God says, that's not the way I'd planned on that working. So now you've already got all kinds of family dysfunction. Hagar and Sarah are at each other. Abraham must have already been thinking, how in the world could God ever use a man like me? I can't even keep my family together. Eventually, many years later, Abraham's 100 years old, Sarah's 90. Abraham and Sarah finally have a child. His name is Isaac. Of course, now you've introduced another child into the family, Isaac, Ishmael, Hagar, Sarah. That family is dysfunctional with a capital D. Eventually, Hagar and Ishmael are kicked out of the family, sent away. They go live someplace else. I wish I could say everyone lived happily ever after, but they didn't at all. If this sounds like the Genesis version of Days of Our Lives, you are exactly right, friends. I wonder if, again, Abraham ever thought to himself, how in the world could God ever use a man like me when I can't even hold my family together? Here's a thought I'd like to share with you today, though it's not something we're covering on our Sunday mornings together. If you were to follow the rest of the Genesis story of Abraham, eventually Sarah passes away, and then not too much longer after that, Abraham dies too. Abraham dies at 175 years old. He might have died just from trying to blow out the birthday candles on his cake. But Abraham died at 175 years old, and they buried him in the same place where Abraham had buried his own wife, Sarah. And you would naturally think that the story would then say, and Isaac, his son, buried him. But that's not what the story says. If we read into Genesis a bit, it says that Isaac and Ishmael buried their father, Abraham. Can you imagine the fact that those two boys came back together to honor their father at his death? Abraham accomplished in his death what he could never accomplish in his life. He wanted an intact family, just like you do, just like all of us do. He wanted a family where everyone got along, there was peace in the family, they respected each other, liked each other, and loved each other. He couldn't pull that off during his life. But in his death, Isaac and Ishmael, both there, honoring their father, Abraham accomplished in his death what he could never accomplish in his life. Friends, it's never too late. You may have family brokenness. You may have siblings who don't get along. You may have members of the family who choose not to join you when you have family gatherings. There may be bickering, there may be arguments, there may be long-standing feuds. But friends, God can still heal families. Abraham accomplished in his death what he never could accomplish in his life. The boys eventually came back together. God is fully capable and able and willing to restore relationships. Sometimes we have to give those relationships fully back to Him. But God is able to heal. God is able to restore. If He could restore Isaac and Ishmael, imagine what He could do in your family. God is a God of healing and restoration. He's done it before, and He can do it again. May He do it in your family too. Friends, I hope that encourages you the same way it encourages me. We all deal with challenges in our families. May your family be whole and healthy. I hope you have a wonderful week. Please take good care of yourself. Know that we love you and pray for you. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.